to you. Merry Christmas and whatnot. This is Monday, December 28th. Master Pattern Report. I'm Dr. Bob Flower. Okay, so let's look at last week as we usually do. Our silver call for a downturn on the 22nd actually occurred on the 21st and ran into the 22nd. And we hit a total downturn of just a little over 2%. A good effect. Our interest rate call was right on the button on the 22nd as we saw a rise in the ETF of 1.25%. A nice hit there too. The S&P call for the 22nd also hit on the 21st and the 22nd, going up from a range of 10,330 to 10,511, almost 200 points in 2 days. So once again, we had an excellent week. This week, the end of a year, end of a decade. Interest rates will continue up. We like the dollar up again. Silver may bounce up, but we do see it down into next week. Oil looks like it's headed for $82, folks. I don't think it's going to penetrate 82 and probably hit in the next 10 days or so. Okay, so how about some predictions for 2010? What would New Year's be without predictions? Okay, these are straight from the Master Pattern and Dr. Bob's file. It looks like between the last week of February and the first week of April, we're going to see a really good move in the market as unemployment figures take a big drop. We think that this is the reason for this is going to be principally because the census, which is going to be starting, is going to hire something like 750,000 people. Now, although that's a temporary thing, they won't call it so much temporary because it'll be about a year, and it'll be a artificial takedown. So you may see as much as perhaps 1.5% drop in unemployment, but we think that that's only going to present problems further on down the road. This is the old kick the can down the road game, We keep throwing band-aids at this stuff at a mortal wound, and instead of suturing it up. Interest rates. They'll eventually start to hit the market in May or June. We think that that looks like the time period for the eventual manifestation of the higher rates, although they'll come into play. They're already coming into play now. By then, you'll start to see it in affecting business and mortgages and things of that sort. Okay, S&P looks like it might be up at least until April, through April. However, we do see a downturn early summer. Around there is all this stuff starts to hit. The interest rates, some switching in unemployment, taxation, all of the stuff that's been kicked down the road, all of a sudden can't get kicked down the road anymore because the government recognizes that it's kind of gone overboard with the spending, with the stimuluses, with the TARPs and whatnot. And although they're going to continue to feed the marketplaces, such as the homeowner buyer bonuses, they're only going to do that for so much longer, folks. It's not a permanent reality, and when that stuff hits, the market's going to feel the impact of it. Of course, they're hoping that the market ignites by that time, but I don't think so. Our resources are showing us that there's some major banks that are going to throw a lot of defaulted mortgages into the marketplace starting January. All this stuff starts to pile up at some point in the future, and we think that it really starts manifesting itself, in a serious way, sometime around the summer of 2010. We think the dollar will strengthen, especially in the first half of the year, due to rising rates and Mideast problems. We think there'll be a flight to quality here, folks, which will help the dollar. I don't know how much it'll help the market, but it'll help the dollar as people get scared out of their wits with between North Korea and Iran as their alliance comes to the surface. That's right, their alliance comes to the surface, and there's a lot of backroom dealings going on insofar as that. We think Iran will get hit, and we think it's going to happen sooner rather than later, perhaps as early as February, beginning of February. But this may not be. This may be a little different. It may not be an airstrike, and maybe something else. Maybe something political that may develop here. So keep your ears tuned, your eyes open, and turn on to Dr. Bob. All right. Serious economic issues will grow, as I've stated. Concerns about feeding the budget deficit, so they're going to have to cut back. The stimuluses are going to sort of get phased out here, to a large degree, and that's going to impact us. That's going to put the administration into a bind and put Congress into a bind that they will not know how to resolve. Okay. And of course, the stimulus funds and the TARP funds will decline because of great concern of spending. Real estate, we think real estate will bottom out here for the first third of the year, but then it'll take a hit. There's too much product coming on the market that needs to be disposed of. Much too much, and because a lot of this buying that you're hearing about, up 11% and whatnot, no, and so by the second half of the year, the interest rates, it'll go up. Okay, let's quickly look at some charts here. Here's S&P. It looks like the S&P is still headed up for the week, and here's our chart with oil. Oil is still headed up. Let's see where are we at. It looks like December 31st, Thursday, might be a good day for oil, as you see here on the end. Okay, and of course we have our this is the dollar, the dollar short, and this is down, which means the dollar is up. It made a little bounce here, but we think it's going to continue its strength into the new year. So anyway, it doesn't matter if the market's going up or down, folks. You make money when you're smart and you're attentive. You make money either way. Okay. As far as stability, forget about it. It's going to be very unstable year, I'm afraid. Very eclectic year. It's a lot of strange stuff, almost maybe cosmic in some sense. But in any event, I want to wish you a great new year, a lot of success, and stay tuned. We love you all. Have a great time. Enjoy your New Year's. We'll see you next year.